right, here we go, back again with some live action on Instagram. I think I'll also upload this as a podcast because for the last couple weeks I have not posted a PDL podcast. I'm going to go into that just a little bit. Give me a little consideration here as I'm driving and don't have any notes in front of me or anything. But back in the day, I used to do Ever Vigilant, and every week I would also do just a live on-the-fly episode. I called it the Guerrilla Traffic Cast, and that was twofold. It was an opportunity to put out more content, just share something that was on my mind, but also it's a challenge. It's a constant challenge to think things through, to try to get an idea, formulate a concept in your mind, and speak it in a way that other people can understand the message that you're trying to convey, especially when you don't have any notes. So, here we go. So, like I said, I have not put out a PDL podcast for the last couple weeks. For one thing, I've been working a lot at my real job, the one that pays the bills. And number two, I'm going through a little bit of a transition. And one thing since the very beginning of Ever Vigilant and then turning into PDL and all the different things that I have done and writing open 6 life-changing principles and the different interviews I've done or the different people I've interviewed, through everything that I have ever tried to do or wanted to do, the vision has always remained the same: to challenge and to encourage men in their role to prepare, defend, and to lead. From the very beginning, when that was even a part of the intro to Ever Vigilant, the mission has never wavered. Even when I quit last year and was willing to walk away and wanted to walk away from it all and really was burned out and really needed to spend some time focusing on some other areas, especially with my family, that mission or that vision burned inside of me. It bothered me that I wasn't sharing. It bothered me that I wasn't participating. After I got through with a short break. So it started to rebuild things up again, retool things, put things together a little bit differently, and PDL was born out of that. Again, exactly the same vision: to challenge and encourage men to prepare, defend, and lead, and all that incorporates. And for me, that incorporates a lot more, probably more than I've ever shared, probably more than I could ever write into the books. But as time has gone on, different ideas, different ways of sharing that vision have come about. I've continued to evolve and take shape, not only with the way that message is delivered. Here, like I said, here I am doing a live on Instagram. Never in my wildest dreams when I began any of this did I think that would be something that I would do. But I continue to evolve. The modes and ways of getting out the word, getting out the message, getting out this vision have changed. The mission has continued to evolve. The way that vision is used, the way that the vision is presented, the way that the vision is conveyed has continued to evolve as I have evolved, as I have grown, as I have learned things, as I have continued to push myself out of my comfort zone, as I have continued to challenge myself and fail at things and learn from those failures and get back up and try things differently or try something new. And as I continue to change, as this mission evolves, but the vision stays the same, I am at another point of transition. There's a idea inside of me, this vision inside of me, that, like I said, I can't shake it. It is what it is. It's been burning inside of me. It keeps me up at night. It gets me up early in the morning. It motivated me to spend the amount of time that I spent writing a book. It's motivated me to do Instagram lives when I don't want to. It's motivated me to be up countless hours editing and setting up interviews and putting the time and energy and efforts into getting this message of this vision out there to other men that I want to encourage and challenge and help, because I was at a point in my life where this is what I would have wanted. This is what I would have needed. This is what could have helped me get to where I am today 1,000 times faster, and with 100 less books and 1,000 less podcasts and investing hundreds of dollars less in Audible libraries and things like that, right? So as I've continued to evolve myself, and as I've continued to grow, as I've continued to change in my life, I've continued to change the way that the message is presented, because I myself am different. At the very beginning of doing a podcast, when I was so nervous at every single time I would hit record and feel sick to my stomach and feel like I was going to throw up, and continue with the ums and ahs after almost every single word, even though I had notes right in front of me. Sometimes a full script of the whole podcast right in front of me, but because I was so nervous. And now here I am today doing Instagram Live and pushing myself even further. And as I move forward here, as I continue to find new ways to share this vision, the next mission moving forward will be getting into coaching. This will allow me to work with the people that I want to work with the people that I can have the biggest amount of influence on as they start to understand themselves more. I have come to a point in my life, which again is because of changing who I am and how I look at things and how I live my life, where I enjoy having those conversations. I enjoy learning about people. I enjoy learning what makes people tick and why some person's different than somebody else. And I enjoy helping them see the amazingness and the beauty that's in themselves that they might not even see or notice. To be able to encourage them in that, to be able to help people gain and build the confidence that they need to make the changes in their life, to become who they want to be, who they see they could be, but not just for themselves, because they too are servants. Right? They want to serve their wife better, their community better, their congregation better, their family better, each of their children, maybe their grandchildren, their neighbors. But if you are not in a good spot yourself, it is so much more difficult to serve others in a genuine, real way where you can make a true impact on them. And that is what the beauty for me is of this idea of coaching. Building rapport, building an understanding of where people are at and where their trials are and where they're struggling. And showing them it doesn't need to be that way. So I'm excited about this. I have been on this journey now pretty much since a little bit before I started doing Ever Vigilant, and it has been an epic journey for me. It has been fun, it has been hard, it has been crazy, it has been a challenge, painful, suffering. But what has remained consistent, again, is this vision. The vision of what I am doing. It wasn't that long ago for me that I had come to a point 5 or 6 years ago where I just came to a point where I had had enough. To everybody on the outside, it looked like I had things set. I was fantastic at my job. I had good people that I was working with and around. I had a stellar reputation in the business. I had a great network of people around me. I had a beautiful wife and 2 healthy kids. But I wasn't content. There's a burning desire inside of me to make an impact and make a difference in other people's lives, to not just live out my life solely for myself. And as I started to, through discipline, take control of my life, to take my life by the horns, and started reading and listening to podcasts and challenging myself and pushing myself outside of my comfort zone, as I talk about in the book, Open, 6 Life-Changing Principles, I felt like in my life I had come to the edge of a cliff. This was it. And I felt like this is going to be it. It's just rinse and repeat. Football on the weekends, video games on the weekends, and this is what I get to do till I retire. And that's what everybody around me was telling me. This is it. This is it. Wait till you retire. Wait till you retire. Wait till you retire. Be happy where you're at. Be content where you're at. Be content where you're at. What more do you want? I came to the decision that I was not going to settle. That I was not going to wait till I was retired, which maybe you never get to. Maybe you get to be to retirement and you're sick, or you're just unhealthy, or you're unable to do the things that you need to do because of the stresses and trials and difficulties that life brings your way. And those trials and difficulties bring about stress, and stress brings about health problems, and stress brings about maybe eating disorders. And by the time you get to retirement, there's no guarantees that you're going to be in a position to do anything it is that you are dreaming about right now, or anything that you want to be or do, or places that you want to go. And I made a decision also that that's not what I wanted to demonstrate for my kids. I did not want to show my kids that that was it. Pick your job, pick your career. I hope you like it. If you don't, tough toenails, stick with it. And when you retire someday, you'll be happy. I don't want to wait till I'm 65, 75, 85 years old in order to be happy because I'm finally able to do what I want to do. So we made some changes. Started opening up my mind and looking at the world a little bit differently. Started saying, well, what is holding me back from doing some of the things that I want to do? Fear? Convincing people? Conversations? What is it that's holding me back? We started to make some changes. We started to look at things differently. We started looking at the homestead that we moved out onto. Again, something that was a challenge every single step of the way. Getting the financing for a rural piece of property. The challenge of the commute that I had at that point. The challenge of learning how to deal with chickens and ducks and geese. The challenge after challenge after challenge after challenge. But as you overcome these obstacles in these challenges and push your way through them, you gain confidence in what it is that you are able to do. It's not easy. But if you want to go someplace, you got to know where you want to go, what you want to make of yourself, what you want to demonstrate for those that you love. So we went through the hardships, we went through the hard times. We pushed our way through. And 4 years into that, set up in a pretty nice spot with some pretty cool time that we had there. And we felt that God wanted us to do something different. Wanted us to get rid of it all. Everything that we had worked for, everything that we had put our heart and soul into, everything that we had done, that we were going to give it up and take a gigantic step of faith and move down to Texas and see what would happen. And we did. But could have I done that to move to another state, to give up all of that, move to another state without a job and without a home, if I had not gone through those other challenges that we had just gone through the 4 years before, as we moved on to the homestead, and the challenges and uncertainties with that, and the challenges each and every day that living in a rural area brings to it, I can tell you no. So I moved down here and go through the challenges and stuff, all the while producing content. All the while putting in the effort to challenge and encourage those that listen to the podcast regularly, those that follow me on Instagram, to say, hey, you are only doing a fraction of what you are capable of doing. You are only doing a small amount of what you are capable of doing and what those around you at this given time need you to be doing. You were meant for more. You were meant for something bigger. You can do more. Now, is it a challenge? Is it easy? Is it rough? I have a whole page set aside for a podcast that's in my mind about the challenges and difficulties needed in order to get you where you want to go. Because nothing really is free. You've got to earn your way in, and you earn your way by putting in the time, by putting in the energy, by putting in the efforts, is how you earn your way. Just like whether you work in a salon or a barber shop, you're not going to be great at cutting hair the first day, or you're a plumber, you're not going to be great or efficient with your time at doing these things. There is no hack to doing these things faster or better. You can watch videos, you can read books, but when it comes to doing things, there's no hack, there's no cheat to get faster or better at these things. The only way is to do them. And to do them, and to fail, and figure out why you failed, and to do them again, and to try again, and push yourself forward again, and That takes a shift in your mindset in order to be okay with seeming to fail on a regular basis. But the more comfortable you become with that, what many around you might see as a failure, or those in your family or those that are your friends see as a failure, the more comfortable you become with failing, and the more you realize that if it wasn't for those small failures, you could not get to where you are. You don't gain the confidence you need in order to get to that next step, and that next step, and that next step. None of this stuff is meant to be easy. But it's not as hard as it seems when you're standing at the first floor and you're looking up at the second floor and you're going, wow, there's 25 steps. I don't think I can make it. You've got to take it that one step at a time. Maybe you fall back, you slip backwards, you do it again. And then you get to the second step and maybe fall back. I remember back in the day as a kid when video games were tough. They were tough. And I had a Star Wars game that I played. And you had to fight this battle through all these TIE fighters. And I was only allowed to play the computer games for like 1 hour a day. And it was strict. The timer was set. Once an hour was done, the timer pinged and time was up. So you'd get this game booted up. You'd get your controller all set. You'd get to this one section of this one level. And I would fail. And I would fail, and I would fail, and I would fail for an hour. And then Tuesday, I would fail, I would fail, I would fail, I would fail for an hour. And then Wednesday, I would fail, I'd get a little bit further, and then I'd fail, and I'd fail for my hour. And then finally, after like 2 weeks, maybe longer, I don't remember, I passed that level. And then the next time I tried that level, I passed that level. And the next time I tried that level, passed that level. I could pass that level every single time on the first try after I had beat it. Is that confidence? Is that fingers? Is that knowing where different things were going to come from? I don't know. But this is the same thing with life. You've got to keep battling. You've got to keep moving forward. You've got to not quit. There are worthy visions and worthy goals and worthy ideas that are not your own, that have been planted inside of you, that were there for you to accomplish, or for you to put your efforts forward in an effort to accomplish before you were even born, before you were even thought of. And when we spend our time sitting back and just letting life pass us by, that not only has negative effects on us, but countless other people that we don't even know, that we may never meet, that we may never come across because we sat stagnant. I'm going off on a tangent here, down a rabbit hole, way different than I had expected when I started this. But my point is here, battle through. Keep pressing forward. I'm only where I'm at today doing this kind of stuff because I did it and I was bad at it and I'm still kind of bad at it, but I will keep pressing forward to become better. Why? Because I want to be in a position where I can challenge and encourage men to prepare, defend, and lead. Where I can wake up men and help them get up off of the couch, help them get up out of that recliner and become the father and the husband and the neighbor that is so needed today. Exactly. Passivity is poison. So that's my encouragement today. And this is why I want to transition from this only doing podcasts and only putting out content for other people to take in or not quite understand on their own, and really want to get into coaching and get into a place where I can one-on-one work with guys who are where I was, struggling, knowing that there's something more, knowing that there's things that they could do or should do or want to do, but lacking the confidence, lacking the know-how, lacking the person that's there, that's got their back, that's listening, that's encouraging them, that knows that they have it in them, even when they're not quite sure that they have it in themselves. So as things evolve here, like I said, missed the last couple podcasts as I try to get a better understanding myself even of what this mission is moving forward, of how I can put myself in the best position to serve other people and move in a slightly different direction here. Not sure what the podcast will look like as we move forward. It's going to continue. I love podcasting. Well, I kind of love podcasting. And I think it's a great way to get a message out there. So I'm going to sign off now as I turn down the dirt road here. And I got the air conditioning off, and it's 90 degrees here in Texas because I don't want the air blowing all over the phone speaker. So as always, thanks for listening. Thanks for joining me. I hope that you get something out of these live that I do on Instagram, but also out of the podcast, because truly, I'm grateful for these opportunities. I'm grateful for these technologies, but I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful that you're listening, and I hope that something that I've said here will strike a chord with you and maybe change your mindset just enough to get you going in a little bit different direction, or to see that you are capable of something more, or to take the challenge and move in a different direction. So as always, hold fast, and God bless.